We live.
Oh, all right.
We live. Welcome to the Honor Among Men podcast. I'm David. And to the right of me, we have
B. Irv.
Yes, B. Irv in the building. And to the left of me, we have
Mr. Maverick.
Yeah, Mr. Maverick in the building. And to my far left, we have
Mikey Mike.
with his orange shirt on.
You know it.
In the building. Hey, and across from me, we have
You're younger.
Yeah, anytime now, brother. Any day now, brother. My man. What up, fellas?
What up, though?
What's the word?
Yeah. We back. Back like we never left.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? In it to win it. Hopefully everybody doing good out there in Facebook world.
Facebook hood.
You know what I'm saying? Like, share, subscribe. What I'm finna do?
Yet.
Share? Oh, you don't see it yet?
No.
Oh, okay. That would be the producer's fault. I'm not sure. Oh, it says it. I see it. I'm gonna start a watch party. Wait, no, I'm not. I'm just gonna share.
We don't start a watch party.
Cause I'm not savvy, bro. I don't know.
Just go down there on the main thing and
I'm not too savvy.
Producer. Blind joke.
Like, share, subscribe.
Doom, 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 doom.
What up, y'all?
Man, chilling. How you feel tonight?
We live, man. I feel good, bro. I'm feeling real good. How you feel?
Man, you know.
Everybody cool. Hey, you know what? I know who is feeling good. Y'all notice something? I'm saying I'm wearing glasses. You know what I mean? I'm wearing glasses. You know what I'm saying? Somebody not, though. You know what I mean?
Man, boy shining.
That boy shining. People get LASIK eye surgery and don't know how to act, man.
Are you talking about me?
Oh, yeah. My bad.
You know how I do.
Hey.
Turn your radio down.
Turn your radio down. Asterisk. You push the asterisk. You did. And it's not recording. Hit record. You click the yellow.
It's that one button.
It's that one button.
Right there, though.
You need me come over to be the IT guy. You know what I'm saying? Rick, you dress like an IT guy. What up?
You dress like, hey, he is in his IT bag. Okay, my man. So, man, what's in the news, man? What we talking about?
It's a whole lot.
Hey,
going
you know
on,
what?
man.
Nah, Jesse Smollett. Do we still care about him or nah?
Nope.
That's old. That's old news.
So
He said, "Yep."
You said still care about him. So
Ever.
it was a
Oh, we
point.
never. Oh, I
we
care.
never
I'm
did.
not
I
gonna
gave him
front.
the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I'm not gonna front. When I
Yeah,
first heard it, and I didn't read nothing or like hear the story, I was like, "Oh man."
Look, I looked at it. I looked at it like this:
Oh, snap.
minus degree weather.
Okay.
Nobody like. It sounded like it was somebody just gonna come out and say, "This is MAGA country" and pour bleach on you with the
Bro.
noose. That's
Bro,
Wild.
that's too much.
Wild.
I'm from Chicago, bro. It never sounded right to me.
Ever, huh?
Ever. It's freezing cold. This the coldest day of the year. You randomly get up out your sleep and go get some Subway. They waiting on you. It ain't like you was going to a scheduled meeting. You randomly got hungry, bro, and they was waiting on you at 2 a.m. Come on, man.
I still gave bro the benefit of the doubt.
It
man.
never sounded right,
There's
bro.
somebody out there.
You going to
man.
Subway?
You said there's somebody out there walking the subway.
Man,
Hey,
I'm just
bro.
saying, period.
Oh, with a
somebody out there.
with
Bro.
bleach in a hot sauce bottle.
at 2 a.m.
Somebody out there with bleach in a hot sauce bottle
It's 50
with a MAGA hat on
50
and a face mask.
Hey, you want to know
50,
something?
50 degrees
I
below.
didn't know the whole story either, but
Mm-hmm.
my thing was like maybe he was walking from a little party or something. That's
Nah.
you know, that's what I was thinking.
He
Okay.
said he randomly got hungry. He
went
looked
to
in his
Subway.
refrigerator and
Yeah.
they had no
I feel
food.
and didn't call Uber Eats.
Didn't call Uber Eats. It's
Word,
50
word.
below.
Word. And you go to Subway out of all
out of
spots.
all
Subway.
places.
If you're going to go somewhere, you're going to go to Subway.
Yeah, he was wilding.
I ain't
He
checking
was
for him. He done.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
it's a
no,
raffle, bro.
he done. Definitely once I heard the story. You know what I'm
Him
saying?
and Kelly side by side.
And my thing is,
I had to
people,
give
somebody
him that.
wearing a MAGA
Give him
hat.
that. He need another one.
If they was a someone with a MAGA hat, bro, they don't know you. They not watching.
Right. They checking for if they watching it.
They not
They
watching
checking for Terrence Howard. Yeah.
Or Cookie.
Yeah, Taraji. Yeah.
They not checking for him.
Hey, you know what else? What's in the news? That little website thing though.
That
Mogo.
On Mojo.
Yeah.
Momo.
I told y'all, dog.
He was wilding. So he tell him like the kid. Hey, and it happened like in Australia. Like a little girl killed herself.
died. So what he do is like he give you instructions, so he don't immediately tell you to slit your wrist, but he
Okay.
tell you like do little things, turn the stove on.
Oh, he get you
know
like
what I'm
on his
saying?
side a little bit.
And it'll threaten you, like if you don't do it.
Huh.
X, Y, and Z. You know.
Yeah,
That's crazy, man.
I think one of them was like it tells the kid to keep the videos a secret. If you tell your mother about the videos, you'll never see her again.
That's the threat right
Whoa. Hey, that's all it take, ain't it?
All right.
I ain't want to show this to my mama anyway.
Anyway, but especially since that's what it is, I'm super straight. That's crazy though, man. That's sad, man. They got like, and why can't they find the person? Like, can't you just like IP trace or something?
Well,
Like,
you know they got them devices that people put on their
Geniuses.
computers
Yeah.
to throw the IP.
Russian hackers is Russia, bro.
Yeah, like 1
there.
minute.
Even though it took place in China, but yeah,
No,
What took place in
the
China?
artist- The artist came from
China.
That's the throw off, bro. That's the overlay for the underlay. I'm telling
The
you.
overlay for the underlay.
That's
Yeah.
right, the way you put that together.
I like
Yeah.
I'm gonna use that.
It's the overlay for the underlay. Shout out to my big brother, Fox. That's his phrase, the overlay for the underlay.
Yeah, show some respect.
I gotta show some respect.
Who's
Shout out to you, my brother. I love you,
He kind
man.
of just said it.
Oh, I do. He was saying it's like,
Not to be misconstrued as the Fox Network. We don't want you guys.
Oh
to,
no,
you know what I'm
definitely not the Fox Network.
saying? There you go.
Cause we consider little
Yeah.
brother to mainstream media. You know that?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, no, not my big brother Fox the Network.
I never
My
looked.
actual blood big brother, named Fox. He slide too.
Clearly.
Yeah, that's
With a
why
name
they.
like Fox.
I mean,
he
you
gotta
know,
be
Yeah.
you know,
cunning like what?
you know what I mean.
He was the hustler.
Oh yeah, you gotta know that. You gotta know that. One of Detroit's finest, Cody High School. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
1900.
relax, bro. Like you about to.
Oh my bad.
You go to
My
gang
bad, bro.
sign
I can't
up?
shout my bro out.
Cause I feel like it was
Hey,
gonna go somewhere,
hey,
dog.
Feeling himself.
He's putting out his inner Nori in there, just
Pony
putting out too much.
down.
I felt it.
Pony down.
He's
You
great
know what I'm
star.
saying?
He's great.
Earl Flynn's.
Great start
Hey.
rhyming unnecessary words.
Right.
Me high to a tree high.
Hey, low key, that's how he is too. But all right, look.
That's how all Detroit.
Yeah,
cats
that's
are,
how
man.
all old school Detroit cats is. But yeah, shout out to you, Fox. I love you, man. But anyway, man, so let's get to the topic, man. Let's not belabor the topic. Today's topic, we're gonna talk about mental health. You know, we've been hearing things about mental health issues. It's been a huge topic in today's society. Probably the last maybe year and a half or something like that. Like people been maybe even before then, but heavy the last year and a half. You know, every time a shooter does something, you know, every time a mass shooting happens, you know, they give them the mental health stamp, the mental health issues stamp. You know, some people cry wolf with the mental health. Your boy Jesse Smollett, I'm sure he's gonna pull it out. He actually went for the I'm an addict defense right quick.
His lawyer actually like 2 days after it was found that he was supposedly, you know, had cooked up all that stuff. His defense already said that, you know, it's a mental issue.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know, and anytime you use anytime you use drugs as your defense, you know, mental health is going to play a part in there somewhere anyway. So, you know, but because we have been hearing about it so much, I think it is a timely subject. Just so that we can kind of decipher and give our opinions on what's real and what's fake, man. Because it's a lot of false flagging out here.
Oh yeah.
You know, i.e. Jussie. You know, low key, I heard his real name Justin too, but he just kind of.
Well, you know he
Yeah,
wanted.
Because
a
he's
lot of movie stars do that though.
yeah, but I heard like because he's gay, and he put the U on it because it sound like if you look at it, it say juicy.
Man, stop.
I'm bugging. Hey, no, I promise you that's what I heard. Like,
Come on, man.
I'm being for real. All right. I'm bugging. My bad, man. I promise you that's what I heard, though.
You said.
I mean, but it's a U. Like, who spells Jesse with a U? Nobody. I mean, apparently him, but I'm just saying, like, that's why he did it. That's neither here nor there. So, what?
That's funny.
I do want to kind of get into it, though. Like, what is mental health? Like, what would classify mental health issues? Like, what would y'all say is appropriate as far as like, or is it even hard to tell? Like, I almost feel like it's hard to tell. You got to take people's word for it when they say stuff like, I'm mentally ill. You can't be like, no, you not. You know what I mean? Like,
For sure.
and obviously none of us are doctors, psychiatrists, or anything. Well, I mean, Mike, enlighten us, brother. Enlighten us, Mike.
Hang on.
Enlighten us.
Of all the times not to.
Yeah.
Supposed to be on point down there.
Hey,
Yeah, enlighten us, man.
look, I don't got nothing for you. Yeah, I ain't got nothing for you.
I'm gonna give you the Google definition.
Give me the Google definition.
A person's condition with regards to their psychological and emotional well-being.
Okay. Say it one more time.
A person's condition which regards to their psychological and emotional well-being.
So mental health doesn't necessarily mean something bad. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, right. And that's why I'm saying like mental health issues or mental health problems. You know what I'm saying? Like so mental health, and then there's like categories underneath it. Like bipolar is considered a mental health issue.
Anxiety.
Yeah, anxiety. That's like a symptom of bipolar, right?
It could be
I
anxiety.
thought that's
can stand
standalone. Yeah.
That's that's
It can
okay.
stand alone.
Oh,
But it
yeah.
can also be coupled with other, like it's a effect of other mental illnesses,
Mhm.
but that can also be a standalone mental illness where people are just anxious all the time, fidgety, panic attacks,
Yeah.
things like that.
Where PTSD,
PTSD.
post-traumatic stress disorder, right? That's what it is.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's so many. There's those the diagnosed ones. Well, I mean, they all have to be diagnosed. But what I'm trying to decipher is, maybe like Down syndrome or something like that. Would that consider
Down syndrome, autism?
autism,
Yeah.
Asperger's, different things like that? But
Asperger's is a form of autism.
okay, right. So, but what it seems to me is that the go-to ones are like anxiety, PTSD. Cats be claiming PTSD like crazy out here. Bipolar, ADD is that one too.
ADHD.
Yeah, ADHD and ADD, and so. I think what I'm trying to say is that obviously we can't dismiss people. You know what I mean? We obviously cannot dismiss people. However, we do dismiss people. Like if it don't sound like you said with the Jussie Smollett situation. Like you wasn't giving him no play. You know what I'm saying? Like he lying, he wilding, and then as soon as he come with the mental health issue defense, you like or I'm not saying you saying this, but people are canceling him. Like, nah, bro, we not letting you get away with that one. But I think that he definitely has some mental health issues.
For you to follow through with a plan like
That's
that
my point.
strategically,
That's definitely
I
my
believe so
point.
as well.
That's definitely my point. And so I think he's justified in claiming the whole mental health disorder.
He justified?
I think so, man.
Well, he's referring. Now, you correct me if I'm wrong. You're referring to him, claiming that he has mental health issues.
Yeah.
Not so much the act.
No, he wilding. I mean, obviously he shouldn't have lied and he shouldn't have said what he said. But like, he definitely is something going on up there in his mind. It's definitely something going on. You know what I mean?
But how do you judge that when you could say like a person's so far off, like to be lost? Like when do you say like, oh, you still held accountable and you're not held accountable anymore?
That's kind of my question. Like, what are we doing? Like, are we giving what are we doing?
I think
we giving everybody a pass?
No, we only give credence to certain things, and it's no disrespect. I don't mean to be disrespectful or anything like that. I just mean we only give respect to people we respect, or for instance, the psychological journal, if they give respect to military vets for coming home with PTSD, okay, they went to the military. They actually did something that we all find something to be valuable. So then we say, oh, they have PTSD. But a kid from the inner city that's seeing people get shot down in the streets, that's not PTSD. That's not nothing that we give accountable to. So we don't judge them in the same way, even though they both just seeing people get murdered in front of them and men in violent situations. Or I just think we give credence to stuff that's like made up, or that's not everybody have. Like boys are hyperactive, so saying boys are hyperactive in school and say, oh, but he got whatever ADHD. It's like maybe he's just a boy. Maybe he just got a lot of energy. Maybe we need to find a way to let him learn in a different way.
Word.
So we give credence to too many things that we don't take time to actually study or spend time with a child. Like, why is the child showing off? Why are they acting up? Do they really have ADHD? Can they really not focus? Or are you not giving them something that they want to focus on?
So I'm to piggyback off what you said. I did see a study some years ago that talked about I think it was. I'll take that back. It wasn't a study. It was someone who quoted it that said that the school design was based off old churches. So the come in and sit down and don't speak, don't say nothing, be quiet.
Okay.
Was based off how church was, because that's where you used to go to school. Like church and school was the same place. So you know what I'm saying. You was taught to go in there and be quiet, and you know what I'm saying.
My bad.
Thanks.
It really didn't leave room for young boys to be active like they are.
Yeah. Word.
So then once the schools begin to modernize, they just started labeling boys.
Okay. So definitely one thing that I want we all got to stand corrected right here, that Down syndrome is a genetic chromosome disorder. It can cause some intellectual disabilities, but it's not directly related to mental illness. And so we'll stand corrected on that one. That's from my sister Cherry. Thank you, my sister. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, you watching us? Shout out.
Yeah, we gonna stand corrected on that one.
I'm glad you're watching. Share.
Word.
Please
word.
share. Comment more. Kick it with us.
Word. So, mental health, ADHD. One thing I did want to chime in and say about ADHD and the school system is the fact that schools actually receive financial help, like more financial help than usual, when they can diagnose a child with ADHD. Like, so you get extra bread for the number of children that you have.
At your school.
Yeah,
I can help.
that are
I went to a public school, and when I was diagnosed with my blindness, I had to go to a private school. But my school didn't want to let me go because they had got more money for me having a disability being there. I'm legally blind.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went to the school for the blind, they you got to do more. You got to provide room and board. You got to provide canes and O&M training. When at school, all they do is give you your book time, your school time, and then you go home. So they offered me so much more. So they had the government had to provide more. And that's the same thing they provide. The same, the disability funding is the same across the board. So when you label this person with a disability or you give them an IEP, then you got to do more.
Right.
You got to track them more. So then they give you more, even though you're not doing the same type of work. And it's a ploy. They've been playing with boys for so long. It's a ploy to get men out. ADHD, I don't even know. I'm not. If you have it, I apologize. I don't mean to be rude. That's your thing. I don't understand it. But I don't know if everybody in the masses have it as much as it is out there, as much as it's been reported. Like, too many people have it. And I know I don't feel like I was hyperactive, but me being a young boy and being prescribed with Ritalin because they said I was, hyperactive in school or I had attention deficit, but I gave me Ritalin and I felt high. Then you come to find out, read the research on Ritalin, it's like heroin. You giving me a heroin and I'm in 4th grade.
Word.
But you expecting me not to be a fiend, not expecting me not to be out in these streets wanting to fight people, expecting me not wanting to, express myself once I come down off of that high.
Man, that's wild. That's wild.
So I know I'm not speaking for everybody, but I felt like I was diagnosed with something that wasn't true.
Yeah.
And that's because they did not know. You have people in the school system interacting with people they just don't even understand.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I took Ritalin in school early. I think first time I remember taking Ritalin was probably in about 5th grade. And it was just, it was crazy to me because we had a specific nurse. We had a regular nurse for the school who took care of all the kids.
Right.
But then they hired an additional lady who just did medication distribution to different kids within the school. And I think maybe within a year into it, my mother realized that I was addicted to it.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Bro, I sat in class one day just crying, like tears coming down my face, but I ain't feeling it. I was like, I ain't sad.
Yeah.
I ain't running around. We ain't been in no fight. It's just sitting there and my peers around me like, he crying. I'm like, I don't even know why tears coming down my face. And I remember this to this day because I'm like, what is this drug they giving me? So at a certain point, I would just act like I put it in my mouth and go up the steps.
Word, and not take it.
Not even take it. So now to this day, my wife got to fight with me when I got a headache to even take Tylenol. Because I know what drugs do to you, to your system. I'm like, oh, no, I ain't taking no drugs. No, not doing it. So I refuse to even pop pills or, let me use the right term, take medicine. Because Ritalin ain't nothing to play with. And they're giving it to kids. And I don't even know. These young kids out here and they listen to Young Xanax and I don't know the other rapper names that got the drug names.
Man, there's so many of them.
They got drug names and they like basically promoting having mental disease medicine in their house. And it's crazy because we don't know what the effect it has on people. But we know they have parties where they have Skittle parties and they just drop these anxiety pills in buckets and people just pop them.
Wow.
And it's dangerous. It's dangerous.
It's definitely.
But I see the results.
I do see that, we need to pay more attention to it and get better diagnosing with it because there are people that's really suffering from mental illnesses as well. So we just can't bunch it together.
And so
Yeah, say that again.
we can't bunch everybody together. That's a fact. That's a fact. Somebody posted a comment. How can one distinguish between mental illness and demonic possession?
Let me say this. We were born and shaping in iniquities. So a lot of things that we get is because we're not made the way we were intended to be made.
With Elaborate. What do you mean?
Because of sin, because of
Okay.
the original sin, and because of life circumstances. Now at this point, not everybody's going to come out perfect. Not everybody's going to be, what sin you struggle with, or what affliction you deal with is not the same that I deal with.
Uh-huh.
So some people say I'm born homosexual. Some people say they born blind. Some people say they born things. These are because we're not the way that God intended us to be because of the original sin. It's not something that you can't be delivered from. So you say with demonic forces. Or what was the verbiage they used? What would they call it?
Demonic possession.
It's not demonic possession. You can be delivered from that. The man that was when Jesus and who was Jesus walking with? And they was going into the temple, and he said, "Get
in
up."
the cave. Oh,
He said he was sitting there. He was a man with many afflictions, and he was walking in the temple. He said, "Get up and walk in with me." I can't even remember who it is, but y'all know he was healed. Because you spoke with somebody, or because you took the time. We can be healed from so many things. The man in the cave, another story in the Bible. You can be healed from these things. So every affliction, I could see if God wanted it to be at this point. Anything God has the ability to change it all.
100%. And I don't believe, knowing that it's not of God, you know what I'm saying? That's first and foremost. Like anxieties, man, having bad attitude, that is not of God. You feel me? So, and I agree with Mike. It's a balance. Because I believe we still have to seek the Lord for any and everything. However, we still have to utilize the resources that the Lord blesses us with as well.
Right.
So,
Like, my bad. Go ahead.
No, you good. Just doctors in general.
Okay.
If you didn't had a cold for a month and you don't know what's going on, it takes you to go to the doctor for them to do some tests, do an analysis, and say, "Oh, you got walking pneumonia."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't breathe, but it doesn't mean that you don't stop seeking the Lord either.
Right.
Okay.
You feel me? So you have to do both. You have to do both, and we can't. And you said this earlier. We can't discredit anything.
Right.
And we have to believe God can heal everything.
Everything.
Right.
Everything. So while you're going to the doctor, Lord, touch his hands. While you're going to the doctor, Lord, touch his minds, because I don't want to take the wrong medicine.
Right.
While you're going to the doctor, Lord, are there some natural remedies? You know what I'm saying? So all of those things you can still seek God in prayer about, but we got to believe and trust God.
Right.
When I think of demon possession versus mental illness, the first thing that comes to my mind is schizophrenia. And I know that there are medications that people are given for that actually treat schizophrenia. I work with someone that has been diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. They always have to have something going on, like they always have to have music in their ears. And what it does is it fights or it combats the voices that they hear. Like, so psychosis is a part of, I guess, a symptom of schizophrenia. And so they have to constantly have the music playing in their ears, constantly listening to something, just to combat the voices that they are hearing. And so, and you can, like, sometimes their demeanor changes. Like, you can see the person's demeanor just change. Like, maybe they heard a voice say something that they didn't like. You know what I mean? Like, when he first came to the home that I work at, it was really bad, and he used to hear voices telling him to do certain things. So they upped his medication, and then once they upped his medication, it made him more docile, kind of how y'all was talking about the Ritalin. And it wasn't Ritalin, it was another medication, but they upped his meds, and it's actually called Risperidone. but they upped his meds, and so now he's more docile, but you could still see like there's something going on. Like, and me being who I am, not bragging or nothing like that, but I'm just saying me being saved, I can discern and tell that there's something spiritual going on with the guy, for sure. Now, I know when we hear demonic possession, we think about, you know what I mean, like squirming and different things like that. But I think it can be as simple. Obviously, it's not simple, but I'm saying it could be as something as simple as, spiritual overtaking, or like spiritual interference. Like, you can look at somebody and tell, like, it's something going on with this person spiritually. They're dealing with a demon.
The Holy Ghost will tell you. He'll make you aware of it.
Absolutely.
You'll come around a person, and your spirit will not, be in agreement with that person.
Yeah, the world call it your aura.
Yeah.
You got to be careful about little stuff like that too, like
Energy.
auras and energy and stuff like that. Yeah, for sure. But the world call it your energy or your aura.
Oh, wild boy.
That's that witchcraft.
Facts.
Witchcraft. Say it again. You know it.
Facts.
Talking about
You wanna know
vibes.
something?
What? Yeah. Vibes. Yeah.
And it's, come on, bro. I'll be vibing. Come on.
Hey,
bro.
look, it's
Come
a
on,
difference,
bro.
though. It's a difference,
Yeah,
man.
I just heard him.
You just gotta be careful, though.
All right, for sure.
You
It's a
just gotta
different
be
kind of
careful.
vibe,
Yeah,
though.
no, for sure.
Don't check your horoscope.
I'll be vibing.
He said, just don't check your horoscope.
That's the mind.
Fact. No, facts. I'm with you, brother. You
But
wanna
like
know
what
something?
Mike said earlier, all of this is the result of sin.
Okay.
Like, this is it. When sin entered the world, it didn't introduce us just to death. It didn't introduce us to having to work hard. Like, no, there were some other issues that was going to come along with that. And I'm working on this project. It's called The Sin That Pills Can't Heal. These pills can't heal you.
All right.
The Lord can.
All right. And that's another thing that I was going to say, too. Like, these pills really just suppress it. I like the analogy that the bishop uses about the commercial,
Right.
where the elephant, like, you see the elephant, and the elephant is being disruptive at the beginning of the commercial. But once the person pops the pill, the elephant shrinks, but it doesn't go away. And so it's still a nuisance, but it's just a small nuisance. And then we all know about how the side effects are way worse than what the pill is actually curing. Like, it's crazy. Like, depression is a side effect to certain medications.
Anxiety, suicide. Like,
Anxiety, thoughts of suicide.
diarrhea.
How crazy? He said diarrhea.
I don't want that.
You a wild boy. But how crazy is it that you can take a pill to cure something, but you're gonna have thoughts of suicide? Like, that's nuts.
Now
That's
you're
nuts.
relying on it too.
You know what? You said,
Right. And you become dependent on it. We literally have to, in the group home that I work in, we literally have to lock up all of the forks, the knives. They can't have no pens. You know what I mean? Like, they can't have nothing. And these are grown men I'm talking about. These are adult males. But we have to be that cautious because we don't know what's gonna happen. And a lot of it is related to this medication that they're taking.
see, but I got a problem with the fact that I'm a full-blooded Christian.
Okay.
And I
All
have a problem that we like movies and everything, and there's just missions that we see. We see people going to jail to work with people in jail. We see people going to hospitals to work with cancer kids or cancer people with cancer. But we hardly ever see anybody say, let's go to the mental health hospital, crazy home, whatever you want to call it, and for lack of terminology. But I feel like us as the church, this is another group that we let these sins or issues go far. Like, oh no, we're not gonna worry about them. We're gonna worry about sins we can see. We're gonna worry about getting something. We're gonna worry about things that we feel like we have control over. And he said, I give you power over everything.
Right,
you know?
right.
And I just feel like, man, who could I pray for that had an issue that I just said, oh no, they crazy. They got Down syndrome, or they got, they schizophrenic. Like schizophrenia, like you can still pray for them.
And one of the things I could say that I do see a lot of people within our community, the Christian community, dismiss people who have mental illness. One thing I'm gonna say is we still have a physical brain. Our what is it? Our thoughts and feelings, they can be associated with our spirit and things like that, but we still have a physical brain in our head.
Okay.
So when stuff goes wrong with it, you're supposed to go get that checked out, just like you would if your knee is messed up.
I'm gonna ask you to get specific. You said Christians dismiss people.
On a lot of occasions, Christians do dismiss me and automatically say, "Oh, well, it's just a spirit." Some people just physically have something wrong with their physical brain.
Okay.
And you wouldn't dismiss someone telling that they have a cancer in their body,
All right.
but you would dismiss them when they tell them there's something physically wrong with their brain.
So there is a difference.
There is a difference.
Some people
physically have a brain in your head.
really something wrong, like
Down syndrome, like, or it's that's
Chemical
no, not Down
imbalances.
syndrome.
that's like it's having like an extra chromosome or something, ain't it? On the extra
Some kind of
27 or
imbalance.
something.
You said what? You said Down syndrome?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Down syndrome not a mental illness though.
Okay.
So it kind of brings us back to the question of how do we decipher? Like how do we decipher?
Well,
I think that's a real question. Like,
see, my response is still going to be the same though for
Uh-huh.
me. Like I'm still going to go into prayer about it, like for sure.
Okay.
At the same time,
At the same time.
let's go get this looked
Right,
at for sure.
exactly.
So just
Okay.
like somebody with cancer, yeah, baby, I'm gonna pray for you like none other.
Yeah.
But go see the doctor. Let's
Yeah.
see what we can do. Like
Yeah.
there has to be a balance. And the thing is, science exists because of God.
okay.
Exactly.
Go ahead, talk
So
that
when
talk.
we talk about imbalances, we're talking about atoms. We're talking about electrons, neutrons. God is the great architect who put that in place.
Okay.
It was the sin that became that infected us, and caused what we see today. But I believe we have to exercise both. We have to exhaust both. So you don't want to just rely on the doctor, because then you will miss the voice of God saying you don't need to take that medicine.
Right.
However, you can't be so super spiritual and say, I'm not taking the medicine.
Right.
If God didn't say
It's
so.
a healthy balance.
And that's
Right.
And that's my saying, that
Okay.
happy
Go
balance.
to the
for
Lord.
That's
sure.
good.
Because just to be honest,
That's
I
real
suffer
good.
from PTSD.
Okay.
And for so long, I stayed away from the doctor as if the doctor was the devil or something like that.
Okay.
And there was things that the Lord, I prayed about it. Like really, I took off work for 3 months to go and deal with my mental health. And it took me officially just to listen to the Lord. And the Lord, this is what I want you to go do. I'm gonna do something different for each person. Just the way I deliver this person, not gonna be the same way I deliver you.
Exactly.
So you just have to be in discernment and go to the Lord and ask him what it is what is this going on with me? What do you want me to get out of this?
So you went to the doctor. What, obviously, without divulging stuff that you don't want to divulge.
Right.
What was the process?
Getting
Like,
down
what
to
did they
to
do?
the root of what was going on, and a lot of mine is PTSD. So a lot of it stems from things I've seen, things I've went through in my past life.
Is it
Yeah.
cool for you to talk about maybe one or two of those things or no?
So y'all all know that I went to Iraq.
Okay.
So I've also been shot. I've been stabbed.
In Iraq.
I was stabbed in Iraq. I was shot in the streets.
You were stabbed in Iraq?
Yeah. So there's things that I had to go and deal with so that I can move forward. And I was praying and asking the Lord, deliver me from these things. And the Lord be like, you're not listening to what I'm telling you to do. I'm telling you to go speak to these people and deal with this way. How I deliver the next person is going to be different.
Okay.
But it doesn't, with that being said, it doesn't mean that the Lord isn't delivering you.
Right.
And I'm just piggybacking, so don't get
Right.
it twisted.
You saying that person out there?
Yeah, in general,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
You know what? Listening to Brandon's what he just now said, and actually trying to answer your question again, I would say mental health, from my understanding, is something that's like there's something that happens in your mind, in your psyche, that's not of the norm.
Right.
Because not everybody goes to Iraq, not everybody is stabbed in the streets. So when you experience those things, life circumstances change.
It physically changed my brain.
It physically changes, like things you have experienced.
Life
with them.
circumstances
And look,
change you.
Your frontal lobe, this is one of the things that really made me pay attention to it, so that I could be an advocate to other people.
Uh-huh.
When I went to Iraq, I was 19 years old. I came home 21. Your frontal lobe is not fully developed until you're 25 years old.
Okay.
So the things that I'm seeing are changing the way that my frontal lobe is
developing. Okay.
So now it's physically something different with my physical brain.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So that was the way that they helped me understand it.
So that leads me to a theory that I have that I think is beyond a theory. I think is a true statement, which is the fact that, and I said this before the cameras or before we went live, that us being from where we're from, we all have some type of anxiety or PTSD or, just something like that. I can recall one time where, because there are a few people in my family who actually have been diagnosed with some of those disorders, like bipolar, manic depression, and different things like that. And so my uncle came over to my house one day and dropped off just some literature about being bipolar. And just to keep it all the way real, I dismissed it. Like, he dropped it off, he sat it on the dining room table, and I didn't take a look at it. One of my homeboys came over and he picked it up and was reading it and was like, "Where you get this from?" And so my uncle came, my uncle brought it off, dropped it off. He's reading this and he's looking at all this stuff and he's like, "Bro, I go through this." It was kind of detailing the symptoms of bipolar or manic depression. And then I started reading it and I'm like, well, I mean, I know tons of people who behave this way. And so I just think that coming from where we come from, and we all come from different places as far as city and state, but we come from the inner city. And being from the inner city, man, you see things that change the way your, what is it called?
Your
frontal lobe is developing. Like, you see things that traumatize you in essence. Like, I've seen some traumatizing things. I've been in places where shots rang out and I didn't know like where they was coming from. If I duck, like, hopefully, because I'm gonna duck, we gonna get up out of here, but hopefully I don't get hit. Just different. It's been so many situations that I've been in, and I know people that have been in so many different situations like that. And so we have these issues, and a lot of us don't even realize we have them. Like, the fact that everywhere I go, I plan like a way of escape. Everywhere I go, I plan a way of escape. Every person that I see that's physically bigger than me, I figure out where I'm gonna hit them at, or like I gotta get the drop on them if something go down. Like, I do that to this day. Like, I'm looking at you and I'm sizing you up. Like, okay, I'm gonna hit you here. I'm gonna hit you here. If you get the best of me, I'm gonna grab my little joint I got right here, and then I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? like that's a
form of PTSD.
It's an issue. Yeah. I know it's an issue.
One thing I can say.
Oh, say what you want to say.
My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off, bro. I know that's true because I've been in Iraq and my wife has not. We are the most alert people you can come around.
Man.
You're not walking up on me and my wife without us seeing you, reacting to you in any form or fashion.
Straight up.
That lets me know that, okay, just from the way we grew up in Chicago, formed PTSD in some way in my wife. And even when I first got in the Army, my sergeants would ask me, like, well, bro, what you all right? Like they already were seeing symptoms of PTSD before I even went to Iraq.
Yeah.
So now, Dick, this is a question that I'm posing, all right? Because what both of y'all just said, I do on the regular as well. Exit strategies at the crib,
Yeah.
weapons all around the crib. You know, that's just
Yeah.
what I do.
Yeah.
My thing is that actually post-traumatic stress disorder, or is that an individual who has experience in the area and is using his experience to create a defense, mechanism? So almost like being prepared or ready, anticipating, the worst. Like so, for example,
Okay.
an incident, shots rang out, rah, 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 rah.
That's how they sound too, man.
Man, you feel me? So from that incident, you could experience anxiety, every once in a while.
Yeah.
From that incident.
Yeah.
However, at the same time, from that incident, it can make you more alert, just like Irvin said, just being, bless you, just being more alert in your surroundings, which is not a bad thing.
No, I think you're talking about what I get from what you're saying is, and
it's a question.
Is a question, and I attested to fight or flight, or and to use another example is if a child puts his hand on fire, and they burn their hand, they know not to do that again because they felt it was fire. So fight or flight is when your body, or is you in fear, something fears you, something shocks you, your endorphins in your body goes up to an alarm phase. You get goosebumps, you get scared. Anytime you get scared, you're going through some form of fight or flight, and it's in the definition what it is. So when you experience that, your body naturally reacts to it. Therefore, it's already going to be in your cycle because you already experienced that. It's nothing that we forget. Our brain is. We don't even use what they say. We use like 30% of our brain. So that experience is in your brain. So because you naturally preparing yourself is not a bad thing. Nobody's saying it's a bad thing, but you're preparing yourself because you don't want to go through that fight or flight again. Nobody ain't gonna jump out and say boo to you once, and you're gonna be as scared as you was the first time because you already experienced it. You know how to prepare yourself. So sometimes you say, "Oh, don't jump on me, I might punch you," because you know how to what's it called? React.
I don't know.
So, and not to cut you off, but I just want to say that is that really post-traumatic stress disorder? And that's why I'm like, look, I don't know. I just feel like it's not normal. Like it's not normal.
But
that's really the only way that I can put it.
Definitely.
And let me just one more thing. That's how I justify it too. Like, oh shoot, I'm just prepared. Like I'm just being aware.
So,
like I'm experienced in this area. This has happened to me before. So look, this how I'm finna move.
Dig this, brother Jason, Secret Service, right? He taught on having exit strategies and different plans in place.
Okay.
In our individual households. Having an exit strategy doesn't mean that you're suffering from post-traumatic stress.
Okay.
It's just you being prepared.
Okay.
So that's my thing. So one,
you talking about two different things. You're talking
not
about
really,
him
though.
training. You're talking about somebody training, and I think what Dave was giving inference to is because if he's from that situation, he naturally looks around the room. Not saying, I come in the room and now I got a plan to look around the room. So you're saying if we teach somebody like my wife is not from the inner city, I gotta tell her, hey, make sure you lock the door. Make sure you look behind you. Make sure you keep that piece ready.
Sure.
Make sure you do these things because it's not natural for her to check behind her back because she's not. So you plan to do these things. I think what Dave was saying is like people that naturally like, well, that dude keep walking up and down the street.
But it's only naturally because it was something that's been exercised over a period of time.
Because we experienced it.
Right. So that's my point. So this is my thing. So if we go back to the scenario where we have an exit strategy in the crib, your crib could have got robbed at some point, and then you could have post-traumatic stress, anxiety, whenever the door knocked, ding, ding, ding. Or you could just be an individual who's being prepared. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I'm trying to just really gain that understanding.
I think it's a fine line.
It's definitely a fine line.
I think
y'all
it's a
see where I'm
fine
coming
line.
from?
I do.
I
I hear.
wouldn't want nobody
I
to
hear.
self-diagnose themselves, but
Yeah,
this
right,
gonna be,
exactly.
This gonna be extreme though. So if someone was constantly getting raped,
Oh, you win a stream.
Yeah,
if they constantly getting raped,
too, didn't he?
and now something reminds them of that action, is that not PTSD?
Oh, it is.
So that's the same as me walking down the street and I'm used to hearing gunshots. Now when I hear gunshots, that's PTSD. It's the same thing, right? You can say that I'm just used to responding to it, but now it's PTSD.
And post-traumatic stress syndrome is like, it just basically means what it is. It's stress after you went through something. It's
Right.
After you perceive something, you've seen it.
Right.
But I think one thing that we fail to give reverence to, and just to add to this conversation, is like depression and the reason why people have depression. And that is not only, granted that we're all from the inner city. We have friends and family members that are not from the inner city, and they deal with stress, they deal with depression. A lot of sisters deal with postpartum
as far as having babies.
And it's something that as a community we got to get way more responsible in understanding. Depression is there. It's something that needs to be worked on. It's something we got to pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of want to know, like, if we encountered it, what would we do, or how do we respond to it? Because it's normal, but it's not normal to respond to it. It's not normal to say something like, let's say one of y'all came to me right now and was like, "Hey, bro, I'm sad all the time. I want to kill myself. You know what I mean? Because I'm depressed. I hate what I'm going through. I hate that I ain't doing this or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, we friends. We talk.
Yeah.
Nobody said that. I'm just saying, like, if something was said like that, how do you respond? What do you do as a Christian man or as a friend, as a brother? You know what I mean? Like, what do you do? Like, we got to be ready to prepare ourselves. I don't know.
And just like when we said about the rape culture, we might not always have the answer, but we should at least be able to point someone in some direction. If it's just pray, like I said, you can pray for them or pray with them, but you can also say, "Hey, I'm gonna go find some pamphlets for you. I'm gonna do something so we're physically working towards getting you the help you need, instead of dismissing them."
I used to dismiss anxiety very heavy. I was like, anxiety? What does that even mean? And I don't know. I have such a greater reverence for people going through life circumstances and trying to sympathize with a person, just because, like, on a daily, I have to get people to sympathize with the fact that I can't see. I literally can walk down the street and, like, what you see a mile up the road that the light's turning red, I have to wait till I get there to know these things. So if I want everybody to just understand who I am, why can't I have enough patience to say understanding who they are? And I think everybody has an issue. Maybe you guys not blind, but it's something.
When it comes to anxiety, it's funny you say that, because I was experiencing anxiety before I knew what it was.
Okay.
Like, I just remember sometimes, and it would be random, having a great day, just out of nowhere, just anxious, and it would go on for a couple of days at a time. Cause I remember I holla at PM. I'm like, bro, it's like something is about to happen. Like, I feel like something about to happen.
That's what would be going through your head. Like, what's about to happen?
Cause you anticipating. It's like going up the roller coaster. You hear clink, 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 clink. You have that anticipation. It's like, what is about to happen? You don't know good or bad.
Yeah.
But nothing, at least from my experience, I couldn't say what actually triggered it. Because again, it would be just a good day and it would just hit you. It wasn't until like recently, maybe within the last 2 years. Matter of fact, at the job where I'm at right now, I experienced some anxiety, and that's when I found out. That's when I was able to identify it. Like, I felt this feeling before, but I've seen the power of God as well.
Yeah.
So when I was at my job, and I was, hit with anxiety, like right before I clocked in.
Yeah.
I immediately clocked out and just started praying. Started praying. I sat at the desk for a while, and before I knew it, it was gone. So that's just an example of, prayer does work, but it was a heavy duty anxiety attack to where I called Mom Dukes, Pastor Moms. I called her up, like, man, make sure you pray for me. But by the time she wasn't able to answer the call, but by the time she called me back, I had already prayed and went through all of that, and I forgot I even had it. You know, when you get delivered from something, you don't necessarily sense when it's gone until you like look back.
Next thing you know,
you just working. Like, hold on.
I don't feel it no more.
Yeah. But again, it took me a while to identify, what anxiety actually was. I just knew I was anxious for something,
Man,
I remember this. I'm big on like the people speaking to people and making sure you recognize people. Even the Bible say you be careful who you're entertaining. But the What Women Want, this movie that I watched as a youngster, it was talking about a woman that he walked by and she wanted to kill herself. But because he would speak to her every day, he was like, "Where's she at today?" He noticed that she wasn't there, and he went to her house and right before she killed her, right before she went to go kill herself. And I'm like, we got to be mindful to like take the time out to speak to somebody. You don't even know if that's the one piece of love that person's gonna get for a month, for a week. You don't know how long, when the next time somebody's gonna show them some love. And we got to be like, we never know what anybody's going through. Like you saying, you were going through anxiety. What if somebody came up to you and said, "Man, God bless you"? It could have triggered you to remember, "Hey, I need to pray."
Right.
It's necessary that may have happened with you in that situation, but I know sometimes when I'm like annoyed and I don't know if I suffer with bipolar or not, I'm not going to self-diagnose myself or anything, but there's times when I'm just like irritated. And I'm like, But if you say something to me or somebody say something like, "Oh, let me snap out of it. It's life. Life goes on, so you got to get yourself better." And I think that's.
But my bad. I mean,
no.
Being able to acknowledge that, I think that's just discernment from the Lord. Because some people they fall into those things and they just can't pull themselves out of it. You know what I'm saying? So us having the Holy Spirit really helps us to be able to be discernment about things and understand when we're just falling into a hole.
Yeah. The truth is, tons of people, more people than we think or more people than we know, don't know how to deal with the things that they're feeling. As far as, I want to hurt myself, or I'm anxious all the time and I don't know why. And so when people, to kind of answer your question, when people come to us and divulge that information, we have to give them what we know. Yep. It sounds cliche. It sounds like Christianese. It sounds whatever, however you want to say it, but it works. Yeah. It's been proven. And so we have to guide them in that way, even so much as not waiting for somebody to come up to us. It's real important to just engage with people, period, because, man, real talk, more than we even could understand. Cats don't be knowing how to deal with stuff. Like, I talk to certain people in my daily life, as I'm going here, there, or whatever, and just even hearing different conversations, just because this is probably not due to nothing besides the fact that I'm a nosy person, that I just hear different conversations. Like, I'm always listening. So I hear different people having different conversations, and people just don't know how to deal with stuff. People overreact to the smallest stuff, bro, all the time. And so we just have to engage people, man. We have to make it a point to engage people, not just men, women too. Like, we have to just engage people and be ready to give them what we know. Be ready to give them that knowledge that we have, because truth be told, is the last thing I'm gonna say, we take it for granted. Not even trying to sometimes. I know I don't be trying to take it for granted, but I know I be taking it for granted, the fact that I know that I can pray about this and it will leave. Not just some, fly by night prayer. I'm talking about sincerity. Like, Lord, I need you right now. Like, or just acknowledging and understanding that this is a spiritual attack. This is a spiritual attack. Like, people don't even be knowing that.
Right.
So we gotta, let people know, man. We gotta engage with people, make them comfortable enough to open up. I know I've said that before on another podcast, but we have to make people comfortable enough to open up to us.
For sure. And the thing is as long as we understand our role in the community, we're going to share love, period. Like, you don't have to have an issue for me to share love. Like, who wouldn't take a blessing? You know, the Lord loves you. Like, if you got $100 today and somebody say the Lord loves you, that's going to add. That's like, you know, that's adding stock. You know, you feel me? That's going to boost you up even more. So no matter what you're going through, we got to boost, we got to encourage, we got to uplift one another. You know what I'm saying? Now, one thing that you also said is ensuring that people are comfortable with us. That is a fact. That's a fact. You know, I've had several people call me up, you know, ready to commit suicide. Several people like, man, 3 a.m., you know, Lord, pick up the phone.
That's that hour,
man,
ain't it?
2 a.m., 3 a.m., man.
Bro.
Bro, I'm about to blow my brains out. Like, come on.
I'm on my way.
Just you know,
It's true.
and just intercede. And sometimes they don't even tell you. That's the thing. Like, they don't even tell you all of that. You feel me? But bro, okay, let's just tap in.
Yeah.
After we intercede, after we tearing, you know, bro, I love you, man. Yeah, I was tripping, man. Thank you.
Man.
And that just goes to what you said. You just do what you know. You know, it's not a handbook besides the word, you feel me? But we have to just do what we know, and we have to have enough value and trust in the Lord, you know, to call on his name on behalf of someone else, you know. So, but yeah, man, it's real.
It's real. It's
And,
definitely real. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, you know, the Lord will deliver us from anything, but we also have to know that it's on the Lord's time when he'll deliver you. So whatever it is that you need to do while you wait on the Lord and continuously ask the Lord, also be doing the work that you need to do. Don't just sit down and allow yourself to be attacked, or just sit in depression and wallow in it. Get up and do something.
Okay.
Because yes, the Lord will deliver you, but he's going to deliver you on his time. And all things on earth come from heaven. So if you need to go see a doctor, go see a doctor.
Boom. That's it. Anybody got anything else?
He wrapped it up for us.
He wrapped it up for us. All right. Well, I'm gonna ask everybody to wrap it up right quick. Put a button on it, Drew.
Go ahead and turn that mic on real quick.
Cut your mic. Cut your mic on, brother.
That's probably the best thing to do right there.
Cut your mic on,
Thumbs up
brother.
for me.
Thumbs down for you.
No, real talk. Pay attention to yourself. Don't be so taken in by what's going on around you, whether it be life, whether it be anything, that you're not paying attention to. Maybe something's going on that I need to pay attention to. And also don't be so caught up in yourself that you're not paying attention to what someone else may be going through. Like, while we all live our own lives, we still need each other. Like, I need to be paying attention to my brothers, and they need to be paying attention to me, because we like to think that we're just normal. And sometimes we're not normal. Sometimes something may be wrong. So just keep an eye out for yourself and each other.
That's real good. That's real good. One thing I definitely want to say, you said pay attention to yourself. And then we've also talked about not being dismissive. Don't dismiss yourself.
Right.
Don't feel something and brush it off like, oh nah, this ain't nothing, or what have you. Talk to somebody. Talk to somebody, man, because you may be feeling something that somebody else can have some insight and help you not feel that way anymore. You know what I mean? It could be just that easy. It could be just that simple. You don't have to deal with, or you don't have to just sit in depression. You don't have to just sit in anxiety. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to walk around sizing people up, waiting on them to say something crazy to you or whatever. I mean, you know, obviously there's a healthy balance to it or whatever. But just talk to somebody, especially men, because we do that.
Yeah.
We do that. We'll feel something off, you know what I'm saying, and just dismiss it.
Yeah.
And now we bottling up energy, and next thing you know, you done went off on somebody, you done smacked somebody, socked somebody, or whatever, and you don't really know why. Bro, it's because you not letting it out. It's because you don't have somebody that you can be accountable to.
Can I say something real quick?
Say something.
My dad always said that men are walking volcanoes. Like, it's just a matter. It's just we like you said, we just need somebody to just sometimes just vent, you know, to each other. Yeah. Because, you know, for life, men, it's real.
Yeah.
We
real
can't
talk.
just keep stuff bottled in. So, you
Don't
know,
keep it bottled in. You'll mess around and get an ulcer.
man.
Yeah.
Man, cats be dying early.
Yep. Heart attacks, high blood
Because
pressure.
they won't talk. Because you won't open your mouth up
Stress
and
is a big
talk.
killer.
Yep.
Shout out to toxic masculinity.
Hey.
Don't cry. Don't cry.
Don't cry. Just talk. Don't cry. Just talk, man.
Don't come to me crying. It's gonna holler at you.
Don't put your head on my shoulder. Hey, bro.
Nah,
Yeah,
put your head on my shoulder.
There, little.
There.
There, little homie. My bad.
Oh, man.
I gotta be Mikey Mike.
Hashtag not my church.
You definitely the little homie if you put your head on my shoulder and start crying. I don't care how much older than me you are. I'm definitely finna be looking at you like you the little homie from here on out. Put a button on it, man.
Man, what is God saying?
All right. All right.
Is he saying go to the doctor?
Yep.
Or is he saying fast? You know, like what is the Lord saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I'm sorry. One thing we definitely didn't touch on is like food. Mike said
The diet.
the American diet is one of the worst
Toxic.
diets
Toxic.
out there.
It's toxic.
Like, food will have you thinking some crazy stuff. The bishop make a joke sometimes about, no, that ain't the devil. That's just you shouldn't be eating pizza at 12 a.m. and going to sleep on pizza. You done had a nightmare. Now you want to talk about, oh, the devil is after you or whatever it is. Like, nah, man, stop eating pizza at 12:30, bro.
Yeah, eat chocolate ice cream at 12.
See?
No, don't eat that either.
There you
Chocolate
go.
bad.
Don't get me
Chocolate
started
cow
on ice
puss.
cream.
Gotta
bro.
be vanilla.
Chocolate cow's
He
puss.
said not even vanilla.
That Rocky Road sounds good.
Put a button on him, Michael Robinson.
Mikey Mike, you know if I want them to know. Oh, it's on my Facebook. Never mind. But I'm silly. Look, be honest with you, if I was putting a button on this conversation, it was awareness. Like, we got to bring more awareness to life circumstances, and don't let the social media, liberal media, conservative media sway you on understanding truth. If you don't believe something in the news, like, oh, they suffering with mental illness because they shooting up a bunch of people, or ask God, talk to God, like Rick was just saying, or, like, discern, like, look, I don't believe that. That don't sit well with me, and trust it. But my main focus in the world is the young people, and I feel like with mental illness, we have to be mindful to talk to them, to understand what they're going through, so we can help them navigate through their life, understanding or what they're going through. So if I was dealing with, if I knew any kids that was dealing with mental illness, I would have a conversation. Be ready for the conversations, or press conversations like, hey, what's wrong with you? Why do you feel the way you feel? And let them know that feeling's not normal, so they can grow past it if it's not normal.
Yeah, we have it. B. Herb, you want to put a button on it?
Yeah. As like the rest of y'all said, be mindful. Also, don't self-diagnose. Don't self-diagnose yourself.
WebMD.
You know what I'm saying? Right.
What you say?
Don't be good.
WebMD.
Oh, man. I thought he said Lil Webby.
No, I thought
I don't even know what you thought I said.
Yeah, let's not.
Hey, might be saying some stuff. Let me turn my mic off.
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah.
Don't diagnose
Don't
yourself.
self-diagnose yourself, and like everybody else said, don't be afraid to go and talk to somebody. One of the things I did when I went to go talk to a counselor, and it's just what I did. I don't know if it'll work for everybody. Everything the counselor or the therapist told me you need to work on, that's what I went and prayed about. So I didn't know initially what to pray about or what areas I needed help in. Going to the therapist, like, man, I see these things. Okay, that's what I'm gonna go pray about. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I used it. So, you know what I'm saying? Just be mindful and pay attention. Go seek the proper help. Go to the altar. Just do what you got to do. Don't sit and be idle.
Good stuff, man.
Let me say this one last thing.
Go ahead, my brother.
One of my favorite quotes is, "A tyrant will always find a pretext for his tyranny." And I it's whatever you're going through, tyranny, whatever people experiencing. This is part of my button. Is it's important to not like excuse your behavior, and it's important to go and seek help, to want to get better.
Mm-hmm.
So like, man, I appreciate you, man. Just having the gall to talk about this on the podcast, the gall to go say, hey, I think I'm dealing with this and I want to be better. And man, it's commendable to not allow. We in church, we know, like you're saying, it's the church community that typically says, oh, don't go check on this. And
That ain't nothing but a demon.
That ain't nothing but a demon. You like, man, I want to get better. And that's what we got to do. We got to want to better ourselves. So, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you wanting to talk about this, having the God to like, hey, man, we Christian men, let's talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's work through this. Let's give awareness to it. So I wanted to say thank you.
Appreciate it, bro.
Absolutely. Well, this wraps up another episode of the Honor Among Men podcast. You're tuned in to the Flowers Now Network. And if you made it this far, round of applause for you. We appreciate you joining us here on the Flowers Now Network. Once again, this is the Honor Among Men podcast. Like, comment, share, subscribe. We are on SoundCloud, Facebook, YouTube, and we on Instagram as well. The Flowers Now Network, all one word. We appreciate you once again. We love you, and we do this for you. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.